Essay number 80, The Idiot's Guide to Emotional Intelligence, Why We Need Pain. Let me tell you the biggest lie you've been sold about happiness. You think if you could just feel good all the time, you'd be happy. You think if you could eliminate all pain, all discomfort, all negative emotions from your life, you'd finally have it all figured out. But here's what nobody wants to tell you. Pleasure cannot cure pain. I know that sounds wrong. Your entire life you've been trying to use pleasure as medicine. Bad day at work? Have a drink. Feeling lonely? Scroll through social media. Anxious about the future? Buy something online. Sad about the past? Binge another series. But pleasure cannot cure pain because they're not opposites. They're different intensities of the same experience. They literally exist in the same part of your brain. The chemicals that make you feel joy are the same ones involved in processing pain. Alan Watts called this the price of consciousness. The more aware you become, the more you feel. Everything. You can't increase your capacity for joy without also increasing your capacity for sorrow. You can't become more sensitive to beauty without becoming more sensitive to ugliness. You can't open yourself to love without opening yourself to loss. You know that saying about how you can't appreciate sunny days without rainy ones? It's wrong. It's not that you can't appreciate sunny days without rainy ones. It's that sunny days literally cannot exist without rainy days. They define each other. They create each other. This is called duality, and before you write it off as some new age buzzword, understand this. Duality is the operating system of reality. Look at your body. You have 2 lungs, 2 kidneys, 2 hemispheres of your brain. Your heart has chambers that work in opposition to create flow. You breathe in and you breathe out. Your muscles contract and release. Everything in your body functions through opposition and balance. Nature works the same way. Creation and destruction, growth and decay, summer and winter, life and death. The universe doesn't do anything halfway. It doesn't create light without creating shadow. It doesn't create up without creating down. And yet somehow we think we're exempt from this fundamental law. We think we can hack the system. We think we can have all the good without any of the bad. We think the problem is that pain exists. But the problem isn't the presence of pain. The problem is that we don't understand what it's for. Let me blow your mind for a second. We don't actually want to avoid pain. Think about it. We watch horror movies, we ride roller coasters, we push ourselves at the gym until our muscles burn, we eat spicy food that literally causes us pain, we pay people to tattoo us, pierce us, wax us, we seek out painful experiences constantly. Why? Because pain isn't the enemy. Meaningless pain is the enemy. Pain without purpose is the enemy. Pain that doesn't lead anywhere is the enemy. When you touch a hot stove, the pain isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to save you. It's your body screaming, move your hand before it gets destroyed. The pain is the messenger, not the message. The pain is the alarm, not the fire. Your emotional pain works exactly the same way. When you feel anxious, depressed, angry, or lost, that's not your emotions trying to torture you. That's your psyche trying to save you. It's saying something needs to change, something needs attention, something needs to move. But instead of listening to the message, we try to kill the messenger. We numb the pain with substances, distractions, achievements, relationships. We do everything possible to not feel what we're feeling. And then we wonder why the pain keeps getting louder. Here's what happy people understand that unhappy people don't. Happiness is not the sustained state of feeling good. Happy people are not people who feel good all the time. Happy people are people who are guided by their negative emotions rather than paralyzed by them. When they feel anxious, they ask, what is this anxiety trying to tell me? When they feel sad, they ask, what needs to be grieved? When they feel angry, they ask, what boundary needs to be set? They use their pain as information, not as an enemy to be defeated. But we've been taught the opposite. We've been taught that happiness means feeling good, and feeling good means getting what we want. So we chase money thinking it'll make us feel good. We chase relationships thinking they'll make us feel good. We chase success, beauty, status, validation, all thinking that if we can just get enough of the right things, we'll finally feel good forever. But here's the thing. A life built on meaning and purpose feels good. So does a life built on greed and selfishness. The drug addict feels good when they get high. The workaholic feels good when they close a deal. The narcissist feels good when they get attention. They all feel good, but one type of good is sustainable and the other is destructive. One is fulfilling and the other is empty. One works with reality and the other works against it. The difference? People driven by greed and selfishness are trying to use pleasure to escape pain. They're trying to get high enough that they can't feel the low. People driven by meaning and purpose have accepted their pain. They've learned to work with it, not against it. The former spend their lives running, the latter have learned to stand still. So, how do you become one of the people who works with pain instead of against it? First, you have to understand that you don't actually want to transcend pain. You don't want to feel amazing all the time. What you actually want is emotional stability. You want a neutral baseline. You want peace. Some people call this shifting the baseline. Instead of swinging between extreme highs and extreme lows, you're aiming for a steady middle. Instead of needing to feel amazing, you're okay with feeling okay. But we resist this because we think we're giving up on our dreams. We think if we stop chasing the high, we're settling for mediocrity. We think if we accept feeling neutral, we'll never feel joy again. That's the illusion. The truth is, when you stop chasing artificial highs, you start experiencing real ones. When you stop trying to escape your lows, they stop controlling you. When you stop treating your emotions like enemies, they become allies. This is what we call peace, when neither the desperate need for a high nor the frantic avoidance of a low is present. When you've shifted your baseline from survive to thrive. When you've detached from needing specific outcomes to be okay. In this state, you can actually enjoy what each day brings. You can feel joy without clinging to it. You can feel sadness without drowning in it. You can feel anger without being consumed by it. You become like water, able to take any shape, flow around any obstacle, always returning to stillness. But here's the part that's going to mess with your head. You can only reach this state through pain, not in spite of pain, through it. The pain you've been running from, it's been trying to guide you home this entire time. Every heartbreak was showing you what you actually need in love. Every failure was showing you what you're actually capable of. Every loss was showing you what actually matters. The pain wasn't the problem, the running was the problem. When you finally stop running, when you finally turn around and face what you've been avoiding, you realize something profound. You were never running towards something better. You were just trying to outrun yourself. And you realize something else. It was only because of the pain that you were able to understand this. The pain was the teacher. The pain was the guide. The pain was the path. Every spiritual tradition understands this. Buddhism says life is suffering, and the end of suffering comes through acceptance. Christianity says you must die to be reborn. Islam speaks of surrendering to what is. They're all saying the same thing. Stop fighting reality and start working with it. Your pain is not your enemy. It's your most honest friend. It will never lie to you. It will never tell you everything's fine when it's not. It will never let you stay in situations that are destroying you without letting you know. The question is, are you listening? Are you listening when your anxiety tells you you're living out of alignment with your values? Are you listening when your depression tells you something needs to die so something else can be born? Are you listening when your anger tells you someone has crossed a line that needs to be defended? Or are you still trying to use pleasure to cure pain? Still trying to feel good enough that you don't have to feel bad? Still trying to outrun the very thing that's trying to save you? Because here's the ultimate truth. Life is not about feeling good. Life is about feeling everything. Life is about the full spectrum of human experience. Life is about becoming large enough to hold it all, the joy and the sorrow, the love and the loss, the beauty and the pain. When you try to have one without the other, you get neither. When you accept both, you get everything. The ancient Chinese had a word for this, the Tao, the way, the path that includes all paths, the truth that contains all truths, the experience that excludes no experience. In the Tao, there is no good or bad, there is only what is. And what is perfect, because it couldn't be any other way. Your pain is part of that perfection. Your pain is half of the whole. Your pain is the shadow that gives definition to the light. Without it, you wouldn't exist. You literally could not be conscious without the ability to suffer. Consciousness requires contrast. Awareness requires comparison. To know pleasure, you must know pain. To know peace, you must know chaos. To know yourself, you must know what you're not. This isn't philosophy, this is physics, this is biology, this is the fundamental structure of reality. So stop trying to cure pain with pleasure. Stop trying to escape the very thing that defines you. Stop treating half of your experience like it shouldn't exist. Start listening to your pain. Start learning from it. Start working with it instead of against it. Because when you do, something magical happens. The pain doesn't disappear, it transforms. It stops being suffering and starts being information. It stops being an enemy and starts being a teacher. It stops being something that happens to you and starts being something that happens for you. And that's when you realize the biggest secret of all. You needed the pain. You needed every single moment of it. It was all leading you here to this understanding, to this acceptance, to this peace. The pain was never the problem. The pain was the solution. You just had to be willing to feel it to find out.